This is 𝗪𝗵 in Chicago, and you're watching my channel Knowledge for Quality of Life. Friends, I'm almost at the end of our yogurt stock. So I thought that, I'll be making yogurt and sharing the video with you guys. The yogurt which I ferment, it's a little bit different than most of the people who makes it. So I'm going to be illustrating all these steps and procedures and the rationale behind it, that why I do certain things the way I do it. We try to use as many as possible the various fermented products in our house to have a good microbiome, gut microbiome, because various bacteria in our gut gives you a healthy gut, and health wise is one of the best thing one can do. And future of health is gut microbiome, because everything, all the diseases and illnesses and issues starts basically from gut. So you have to keep feeding those bacteria and keep those bacteria happy, and in turn those bacteria are going to keep us happy, because those bacteria generate a lot of good fatty acids, and those fatty acids are good for us as well. So this process of fermenting yogurt, which I do, is fermentation time is about 18 to 20 hours. Normally, people do it for 4 to 6 hours because they don't like sour yogurt. Because the longer you ferment yogurt, it becomes sour. The other day, somebody was telling me that it was their yogurt turned very sour. They probably forgot in the fermentation, and eventually they tossed it. And I said that you shouldn't toss it, because the more sour the yogurt is, it means that the bacteria have multiplied many folds during the fermentation time. So the unit of bacteria in any fermented product, which we call, is CFU, colony forming units. So the longer you keep, the more bacteria it gets generated, and bacteria thrive on the sugar. They love sugar. The more sugar you feed, the bacteria thrive, and the fermentation becomes much more active and a better fermentation. So in milk, we know that we have a lactose in form of sugar, right? So when the lactose goes to zero, the sourness is going to come much more over time the longer you ferment the yogurt. The longer you ferment the yogurt, your sugar content in the yogurt goes down and down and down. So that, of course, people who are on low carb, and you don't want to have too much sugar in your food, that's the best way I found out to do the fermentation for 18 to 20 hours. So I'll be showing each and every steps to you, that how I do it. And only milk which I use for fermenting the yogurt is grass-fed milk. It's a little bit expensive, but in our house, basically health is wealth. So we focus more on healthy practices rather than the money issue. We can cut corners on money somewhere else, but when it comes to health and food, we don't try to cut corners. Let's get to it. Okay, this is the milk that I used normally for making the yogurt. This is whole milk, organic cream top. When they say cream top, means when you open the cap, it's all butter on the top. So I took it out, some butter, and if you see the traces, it's all here. Still, you can see that, so I'm going to shake it pretty well before I start boiling the milk. This is organic milk, cream top, made from low temperature pasteurized from grass-fed cows. This comes from a place, Kelowna, in Iowa, and it's an Amish community farm where it comes. So the only place it carries this milk is Whole Foods. You can find this thing, at least I have seen in Whole Foods only. I haven't seen any other places. And this is the only milk which we use to make yogurt, because we don't consume any milk in the house other than yogurt, and I ferment the yogurt myself. So let's get to it. So I'm going to shake this pretty well so that everything I can get it in the milk, all the butter and all cream. Now I'm going to stir for a few minutes so that the uniformity is there and it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. Just a few minutes. And it's not at full-blown stove, it's at the medium, and so that milk doesn't get burnt from the bottom. And just stir it for a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back again at the boiling point. So if you see here, you see the butter here. You see? And I'm not going to take it out because later on I'm going to show how when it cools down, how it's going to, you see this? It's very difficult to catch, but you see here. This is the butter, which I took it out some in that utensil. So it's gonna get, dissolve, melt, but the cream, once it cools down after the boiling, and it's gonna create a thick layer, and then I'm gonna take it out. I'll show you later. So it reached the almost boiling, and I'm gonna turn the knob at almost low temperature. So we are going to let it sim for 30 minutes so that more moisture can get evaporated from the milk, and let it sit there for 30 minutes. Doing so, it's going to turn the milk to a little bit thickening condition, and the yogurt is going to give us the final product as rich and creamy yogurt. The entire process of boiling this is to pasteurize it, so to kill any germs or any bacteria present in the milk, so that it doesn't get impeded by the fermentation process and the culture which we are going to add later on to make the yogurt. I'm going to come back again in 30 minutes. So time is up for 30 minutes. Now I turn off the gas, and I'm going to let it cool down to the desired temperature before fermentation or before inoculating with the culture for 2 hours 30 minutes. So here's my timer. And 2 hours 30 minutes. And then I'm going to inoculate after 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay, I'm going to be taking out that cream top, which is right here, and I'm going to be taking out in a way that it doesn't get distorted. So let's gather all together and then drain the excess milk which came with it. I think I got everything except a few traces are left. This is the culture I took, about 4 to 5 tablespoons of previous yogurt, which was left. And I'm going to pour a little bit milk in here and mix it well. And dump the whole thing here. Remember, I measured the temperature was around 1 or 2. It should be between 100 to 110 when you inoculate, because you don't want to put in too hot milk. This is in Fahrenheit, of course. If you put in too hot milk, the bacteria are gonna get killed, because these bacteria are very susceptible to certain heat, as I mentioned in the previous one of my vlog in natto. Mix it well. And I'm going to fill it up, these 2 containers. Now this is going to go into the oven. Oven is off. I'm not using any temperature of the oven. And covered up with a cloth or some heavy towel to give enough warmth. And I'm going to come back in about 18 to 20 hours. Okay, so 18 hours of fermentation is done, and this is the yogurt final product. It's pretty thick. And it's going to go into the fridge, and we will consume it as needed. So you can make this type of yogurt with variety of cultures and bacteria, So if there's one video which I have seen by Dr. William Davis that, he used the culture or bacteria probiotics as Lactobacillus 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, this is a type of another bacteria which is part of the good microbiome. You can use that as well. And that yogurt is very good for one's bone. People who go through osteopenia or osteoporosis, you can make use of that, culture, that bacteria, and make your own yogurt. I want to make sure that, one thing is clear for the viewers and a lot of other folks, that they use organic milk. So what is the difference between organic milk and grass-fed milk? So organic milk, one can, feed the cows corn, organic soybeans, all those seeds, and they can call it out as organic milk. But that's not the true food for the cows, because, the nature has wired cows to eat grass. And when they are roaming around in the pastures and, they are eating grass, of course, that grass is going to convert into their gut microbiome, that K1, which is vitamin K1, which we are known for. And, that converts through the fermentation process, vitamin K2. So the products you get, either butter or dairy or cheese or milk, from the grass-fed cows, it has some amount of vitamin K2 as well. So that's good for individual, because all those cows which are fed soybeans or corn, of course they are high in omega-6 and omega-9s. Those are inflammatory, so the milk product or the cheese or the dairy product or the yogurt which you make from those organic milk is not as good as you can get from the grass-fed cows. So that's why I wanted to make sure that people understand this thing. So there are three categories. One is conventional milk, then there's a organic milk, and then the top of the line is grass-fed milk. Of course, the price points are different for all three, and grass-fed being the most expensive. To the gallon which I've shown you, the Kelowna milk, it's close to $10 a jug, which is a gallon. But you know what you're getting, and the type of products you make from that milk, either it's a fermented products or any other thing. It's really rich and creamy and close to the nature. I hope this helps, folks. And if you have any questions, concerns, please put in the comment section. I'll try to respond to you. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.